Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So Bruno Fernandes was left raging at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics in a 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. And Bruno Fernandes has also accused his teammates of not upholding the proud name of Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes was also upset with Solskjaer for obviously taking him off at half time. Now, I think Bruno Fernandes is one of the best signings that Manchester United have made since Alex Ferguson's retirement. He's probably the best signing we've made so far under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Bruno Fernandes has been at the football club now for almost a year. We got him back in January from Sporting Lisbon in a deal worth like £55 million. And I think he signed a 5-year contract with the football club. Now, last season, Bruno Fernandes won Sir Matt Busby Player of the Season, and I think he must have won Premier League Player of the Month around 3 times, reflecting on his good run of performances. I think Bruno Fernandes has got around 15 or 16 goals for us in all competitions. A lot of his goals have come from the penalty spot. So that is the breaking news on him. Now, Mauricio Pochettino to Manchester United is close. It also mentions that Manchester City are now interested in Mauricio Pochettino. Real Madrid have also been in for him before. Now, it said last week that Manchester United were in contact with Mauricio Pochettino's representatives over replacing Ole Gunnar Solsjaer at the football club. Now, I think he is interested in coming to Manchester United. He was linked with a managerial role at the club before Solskjaer came in December 2018. Now, Mauricio Pochettino has been managerless now for almost a year, or is it a year? He was sacked from Tottenham last year. I think Tottenham made a big mistake by getting rid of Mauricio Pochettino. I think Tottenham had to pay around 12.5 million to get rid of him. Now, my perception is I think Pochettino is a better manager than Solskjaer. Pochettino is well proven in the Premier League. He's also dealt with top players. And I think he would suit the strappings of the club if he's to come in. My only element of concern about him, he has not won anything in terms of silverware. Pochettino's managed 3 clubs so far in his managerial career. He obviously endured 5.5 years with Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure with Tottenham, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. Last year, Pochettino guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. Before he was at Tottenham, he was at Southampton. He enjoyed a very short tenure with Southampton, but he did still guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. Before he was at Southampton, he was at Espanyol. If we are to recommend Mauricio Pochettino in, he will be Manchester United's 5th permanent manager since Alex Ferguson's retirement. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is under serious pressure at the football club because we've endured a bad start to the season. We've already lost 2 of our opening 3 league games, and both our defeats have come at home, and it's the first time we've lost our 2 opening home league games in 34 years. We lost our opening game against Crystal Palace by 3-1. That was our worst defeat on an opening day of a Premier League season since 1995. And we recently lost to Tottenham by 6-1. That was our heaviest defeat since the Alex Ferguson era. The first time I think we'd lost 6-1 since Man City back in 2011, which is 9 years or so ago now. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made an admission after that game saying that it was the worst day in his managerial career. And to be honest with you, we was lucky to beat Brighton in the league. We're beating them by 3-2. But in reality, that game should have ended 2-2. I think probably the best game we've enjoyed so far this season was the Brighton game in the Carabao Cup when we won by 3-0. I said to you, didn't I, on my recent video that Ed Woodward is prepared to sack Solsjaer if our poor vein of form continues. And I've already gone through with you what Ole Gunnar Solsjaer has to do to avoid getting sacked by Manchester United. I think he's got to address our back line. Results have obviously got to improve. Certain players have also got to improve. And I said he's got to exceed his expectations. I did say, didn't I, before we kicked off this season, what would represent a good season for Manchester United, and that would be to finish in the top 4, maybe in the top 2 or top 3, and win a trophy. You know, we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years, and we haven't won out yet in terms of silverware under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. It will cost Manchester United around £4 million to sack Solskjaer. That's totally comparison to the 18 million that we paid to sack Jose Mourinho. Solskjaer's just got under 2 years left on his current contract at Manchester United. Now, obviously, this is his second full season at the football club. And Solskjaer has been at Manchester United now for almost 2 years. He's been Manchester United manager since December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. Now, obviously, last season was his first full season at the football club. And to be fair, I credit Solskjaer for what he did last season because he did exceed most of his expectations. He obviously guided us to 3 semi-finals. We got to the FA Cup semi-final, the Europa League semi-final and the EFL Cup semi-final. We also got a qualification for the Champions League, and I did say how important Champions League was for our players, attracting players and for the financial structure. And we also finished 3rd. I think that's the second highest we've finished since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. But don't forget, at the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. And at that point, Solskjaer was very close to getting sacked. Now, he's in a similar situation to the first part of last season. But like I've said to you, I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is good enough to manage Manchester United. You know, he hasn't got a proven pedigree. Manchester United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. You know, before he was with us, he was at Mould, won a few Norwegian titles with them, and before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff. He began his managerial career at Cardiff. Solskjaer enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. The main explanation why he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated. He also managed the Manchester United reserve team for a couple of years, and he watched some of this team at this day and age grow and develop. But I thought he was a very, very good player. He's a club legend. He enjoyed 11 years as a player for Manchester United, and he flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. Since Solskjaer came in, he has spent over £200 million at Manchester United. And to be fair, he has made some good signings. In his first transfer window, he didn't recommend anyone in. In the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January this year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and he brought Odin Igalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of this year, he brought Donny van der Beek in. He brought Edison Cavani in, Alex Telles, Facundo Pellistri, and also brought Amad Traore in. Amad Traore is going to be joining the football club in January. He's also got rid of a lot of players since he got recommended in as Manchester United manager. The recent players to leave Manchester United were Chris Smalling. Chris Smalling joined Roma permanently. I think he signed a 3-year deal with them. Smalling was a long servant at Manchester United. He enjoyed around 9 or 10 years with the club. Made around 323 appearances in all competitions. We loaned Diego Dalot to AC Milan. Andres Pereira, he went on a one-season loan with Lazio. We also loaned Heath Chon out to Werder Bremen. We loaned Dylan Levitt out to Charlton. I think we loaned Joe Pereira out again for another season. Alexis Sanchez, he joined Inter Milan permanently. Andrew Gomez, he also left the football club. Ashley Young, he left Man United back in January to join Inter Milan. Young enjoyed 8.5 years at Manchester United. There was quite a few players that left in the summer of 2019. That was Lukaku and Ander Herrera. I think Manchester United made a bad mistake getting rid of Lukaku and Herrera because they were two very, very good players. We also let Darmian go. Valencia, he left in the summer of 2019 after he enjoyed 10 years with Man United. Also to Marian Fellaini, he left in January 2019. I think he was the first player to leave Manchester United under the Ole Gunnar Solsjaer era. And there's still a few more players that Man United are looking to offload. We're looking to offload Rojo, we're looking to offload Phil Jones, we're also looking to offload Jesse Lingard, and don't forget Sergio Romero, he's open to leaving the football club because Sergio Romero is now our third choice goalkeeper. I like the way, to be fair, that Solskjaer has promoted the youth because the young players have been given their opportunities. Last season, our record against the top 6 sides was very, very good. I think we'd taken, was it almost 20 points off the top 6 sides last season? Solskjaer beaten Pep Guardiola 3 times last season. He beaten Frank Lampard 3 times last season. He's also beaten Jose Mourinho once as a manager. So that's another positive you can take. But Solskjaer is not only the problem at Manchester United. I think the biggest problem is the board. We've been very critical of Woodward and the Glazers for several years, reflecting now poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players. And the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired have not been backed enough. Woodward's been at Manchester United around 8 years. The Glazers have been at Manchester United around 15 years or so. Matt Judge, he's been at the football club for around 7 seasons, and he's to blame for some of the failure of transfers. But like I've said before, the biggest culprits are the Glazers. The Glazers are the ones that decided to recommend Woodward and Matt Judge in. And I just don't think the Glazers have got any intentions of selling Manchester United, and they've got no intentions of getting rid of Woodward, of the Glazers. And Solskjaer's not been backed enough as Manchester United manager. He wasn't backed enough throughout the course of the summer transfer window. And we missed out on all of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's priority targets in that summer transfer window. Like I mentioned, we missed out on Jadon Sancho. We missed out on Jack Grealish. We missed out on Erling Haaland back in January. Like I said, it was a shame that we missed out on him because he would have been a Solskjaer-type signing. Solskjaer knows the player well. We missed out on Jude Bellingham. There was also other players that we missed out on who want his priority targets. Ousmane Dembele, missed out on him. Don't forget we inquired about getting him on loan. Ousmane Dembele at Man United could still happen in January. Ismail Assar, missed out on him, but we said we're not going to be making a move for Ismail Assar before the 16th of October. Sergio Reguilon, we missed out on him. In reality, we should have got Sergio Reguilon, but he decided to go to Tottenham. Missed out on Bale. He went back to Tottenham. Missed out on Thiago Alcantara. He went to Liverpool. Missed out on Kalidou Koulibaly. But Solskjaer revealed quite a few times during that summer transfer window that he was very frustrated with the board. And he even publicly admitted that, Manchester United have got to spend money. Solskjaer's enjoyed 4 transfer windows as Manchester United manager. You know what I mean? But like I've said to you before, Solskjaer is inheriting a lot of players here from the Jose Mourinho era. The vast majority of his team is Jose Mourinho's. There's still a few players here from the Van Gaal era. Still one player from the Moyes era, and I think there's only 2 players here now from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Like I said to you before on my videos I did the other week, I think Solskjaer's in a similar situation to what Jose Mourinho was in. Because Jose Mourinho endured 2.5 years at Manchester United. Obviously recommended around 11 players into the club. Won, obviously, the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. But in the summer of 2018, Jose Mourinho made it clear to our board that he wanted a centre-half and obviously never got that centre-half. And that was one of the main explanations why he got sacked. But Mourinho had bad disputes with our top players and he had bad disputes with the board. You know what I mean? So, there you go. But in the last 7 years, Manchester United have been playing catch-up. Because obviously we've had different managers with different philosophies. We've spent close to the £1 billion range on players. You know, we've recruited over 30 players in since Alex Ferguson's retirement. You know what I mean? And we've only won 3 trophies in the last 7 years. And that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho. But yeah. But like I've said to you, I think a lot of players are to blame, you know, for the inconsistency in that. Like I mentioned, you know, David De Gea, he's no longer good enough for Manchester United and he shouldn't remain our number 1, really. I think Solskjaer needs to put Dean Henderson as number 1 because I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number 1 goalkeeper. You know, you've got David De Gea that's already conceded 11 goals in his last 3 games. Dean Henderson in his last 2 games, he's conceded no goals. So there you go, there's the difference. And Wan-Bissaka, he's also enjoyed a very, very poor start to the season. I think Man United will keep Bissaka because in a lot of his games last season he was very, very good. His defensive contributions always been very, very good, and Wan-Bissaka's. But he's lacking that attacking intent. That's my concern. You know, this is Wan-Bissaka's 2nd season at Manchester United. Got him in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace last summer. Harry Maguire, I'm having a lot of reservations about him. I really, really am. He's enjoyed a very poor start to this season. Harry Maguire was accountable for 2 of Tottenham's goals in our 6-1 defeat. I think we've got to take the captaincy off Harry Maguire because I don't think he's good enough to captain the team. We give Harry Maguire the captaincy reflecting on Ashley Young's departure back in January. This is Harry Maguire's 2nd season at Man United. You know, we will keep him probably. You know, we won't sell him as yet. I think we definitely overpaid for him because we got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester last summer. He's the 2nd most expensive sign at the club at the moment and the most expensive centre-half in the world. Victor Lindelof, I've also got element of concerns about him. I don't think he's good enough to represent Manchester United. He's had a lot of bad games. He's had some good games as well. But there again, Lindelof struggled in his first season under Mourinho, didn't he? Then he found that consistency, had some good games. Now he's back to square one. I think Lindelof just makes too many mistakes. Looks too exposed in that back line far too much. Lindelof's enjoyed around 3 years or so at Manchester United. Got him from Benfica back in 2017 for around £30 million. Solskjaer said that Bay will be playing more regularly this season than Lindelof. I think Bay's a better centre-half than Lindelof, but Bay's too injury-prone. He's just recently sustained a suspected hamstring injury whilst he was on national duty with Ivory Coast. You know, Bay's enjoyed a good 4 years or so now at the football club. We got him back in 2016 under Mourinho for around £30 million, Eric Bay. Axel Tuanzebe, haven't really had the perception on him because he was out with injury for a while. I think Alex Tuanzebe has recently been back in training, if I'm correct. Luke Shaw, he's enjoyed a poor start to the season. Obviously, he's going to no longer remain our first choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. But if we go with a 3-5-2 formation, then obviously we could put Luke Shaw as a left centre back and put Telles as a wing back, couldn't we? I suppose. We'll keep Luke Shaw, I think, but you know, my element of concern about Luke Shaw, he's injury prone. Luke Shaw's endured 6 years or so now at Manchester United. Got him back in 2014 from Southampton for 30 mil. Pogba, he's had a poor start to the season, and I think in a lot of his games at Manchester United, since he rejoined from Juventus, he's been inconsistent. So a lot of his performances have been totally comparison to his ones at Juventus. Paul Pogba did endure 4 exceptional years with Juventus. Pogba's had some good periods under Solsjaer. He did well in that 3-month period when he was temporary boss. He did well towards the end of last season, But there's a lot of uncertainty regarding Paul Pogba's future at the football club, isn't there? Paul Pogba recently made an admission saying that his dream is to play for Real Madrid one day. He said the exact same thing as what he said around this time last year. But AS, the Spanish publication, have said that Real Madrid have got no interest in signing Paul Pogba next year. So they're not going to make a second attempt to bring him in. And there's no talks regarding a new contract. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's just got under a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. As it stands at the moment, he's our most expensive signing because we paid £89 million for him. We was critical of his agent Mini Raiola earlier on this year. The main explanation is because he publicly criticised Solskjaer and Manchester United, his agent Mini Raiola. So, yeah, and I think he's valued at just over £70 million is Paul Pogba. For the vast majority of last season, didn't have a perception on him because he had that ankle injury. Sustained a few injuries as a Manchester United player, Paul Pogba. Fred, McTominay, Matic, I've also got element of concerns about them. When they've played this season, they haven't had the best of starts. Fred could possibly be moved on next year. McTominay, I don't know if he can emulate into a world-class midfielder. Matic, he's obviously aging up. I do get that he's improved. He had some good games towards the end of last season, did Matic, but he is, like I said, aging up. So there's quite a lot of players at Manchester United that have got to step up to the plate. We've still got at least a good 4 or 5 players in that team. You've got Rashford, who's good. You've got Martial, who's good. You've got Greenwood, that's good. You've got Brandon Williams, that's good. Van der Beek and Bruno Fernandes are 2 very, very good players. I presume that Telles is going to do good for us. Telles should be making his debut against Newcastle on Saturday. I'm hoping that Edison Cavani can do good for us. His debut for the game against Newcastle's been delayed, hasn't it, due to COVID-19 restrictions. Will he get starts, though? I presume he will, with Martial obviously being suspended for 3 games. Martial got sent off against Tottenham, didn't he? But when Martial's back, will he get them starts, Edison Cavani? That is the question. I think, the best signing Solskjaer's made out of the 10 senior players he's brought in is Fernandes, Donny van der Beek and Alex Telles. You know what I mean? So there you go. But like I said to you, I think we are at least 3 to 4 years off from winning the Premier League title. I was hoping this season we could have mounted a title challenge up, but obviously no, that's not the case. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. The last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. It's going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United to replicate Ferguson's legacy or to last as long as Ferguson did. Ferguson endured 27 years at Manchester United, won a total of 38 major honours, including 13 Premier League titles. So we're the most successful team in Premier League history, like I mentioned. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club, did he? You know what I mean? But the success obviously came under Sir Alex Ferguson. It is Newcastle after the international break. We must get back to winning ways. We don't beat Newcastle. I think Solskjaer is sat as Manchester United manager. I really, really do. It won't be an easy game against Newcastle. Like I've said, Newcastle haven't lost in their last 4 matches. They won their last league game against Burnley by 3-1. We lost the game at St James's Park last season 1-0, didn't we? Don't forget. And, you know, Newcastle have made some good signings. They've brought the likes of Jamal Lewis in. They've brought Callum Wilson in. They've brought Jeff Henrick in. They brought Ryan Fraser in. And I think they also brought someone else in. Newcastle, by the way, have got some injuries, haven't they? Their current manager is Steve Bruce. I think Newcastle would have been disappointed when Rafa Benitez resigned from them last year. You know, Rafa Benitez resigned because he felt as though he wasn't getting backed enough by Newcastle United. I think Mike Ash is still their current owner. You know, don't forget there was talks of the Saudi Arabians taking over Newcastle, but obviously now that's not the case. After Newcastle, it's PSG in our first Champions League game in the group stage, and we've named a 25-man squad for that. We've left 3 players out, and that was Rojo, Sergio Romero, and I think Phil Jones. And then the next league game after Newcastle is Chelsea. That's going to be another tough game for Manchester United. You know, Leipzig coming up as well. Arsenal's coming up soon. So we've got a very, very tough period. We really, really have. You know. But you saw my video that I did yesterday. You know, Manchester United have made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years or so, and that's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent. Solsjaer shouldn't have been given the job permanently. The main explanation we're giving the job permanently was reflect on what I did in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager. You know, I think there's some Man United fans that said we shouldn't have got rid of Mourinho. There's a couple of players we shouldn't have got rid of. There's a lot of players that we've brought in over the years who we shouldn't have brought in because they haven't been the right calibre players for Man United. There's some players we've given contracts to who we shouldn't have given contracts to. Obviously, you know, made a mistake by appointing Woodward into the club and all of that. So there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.